I was in the car when it happened, and I got out, I saw him, and it's terrible. And I just told Isaac, I was like, don't look, just get out the other door. We gotta go.
You're freaking 4, and to have to tell your sibling, like, hey, don't go out this door.
Yeah.
Just like, no 4-year-old should have to experience that.
Yeah. The hardest part for me as I've grown up was how little he was acknowledged. Honestly, I think that has more to do with my parents' divorce than the show. Not talking about the hardest thing in our childhood. I can't imagine how that affected my parents.
Today on Unplanned, we sat down with Lydia Plath Wyse and her husband Zach from Welcome to Plathville, the TLC series documenting 2 parents raising their 9 kids on an isolated farm in Georgia. They met, dated, engaged, and got married all within 6 months while saving their first kiss for marriage. But there's a deeper part of Lydia's story that she rarely opens up about publicly. In 2008, her 17-month-old brother Joshua was accidentally run over on their family farm. In addition to that, we talk about behind the scenes of filming a reality TV show, the rumors about Lydia's husband Zach, and so much more, all on today's episode.
I feel like America was fascinated by your family for a number of reasons.
Say that?
Yeah, like the way you lived was just, you were brought up was just totally different from, I would say, like the average American child experience. Talk about
100%.
that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm come from a family of 9 kids. Grew up on a farm in South Georgia, and when I was 15, we started on a TV show called Welcome to Plathville, and to this day, I still don't know how I'm in this place I am in now, and just trying to make the most of it, and married the best man in the world 9 months ago, Zach Wyse. Therefore, I am Lydia Wyse now. I'm still getting used to it.
When you guys met each other, had you ever seen the show?
No.
That was very important to me, because if he would have seen the show, just dating in general, anyone who had seen the show, like, I would have 100 questions, 1,000 questions. So Zach not knowing who the show, anything about the show, who I am, anything like that, like none of his family followed me, nothing, just genuine, raw us. And then I told him about it later.
So that was a fear of yours because you didn't want some creepy stalker to like find you and try to marry you?
There have been instances,
when you put it that way.
I won't get into it whether
questions?
it was me or someone else in the family, but there have been instances where come to find out they've been watching the show for a long time.
Wait,
and
that's
it's creepy.
so creepy.
And so
How did you vet him? Was there like a questionnaire he filled out, like a Google form?
Answer these questions. No. But yeah, like
so we've gotten to this point of our relationship.
But no, like just in general, like if they've watched the show and seen every season and followed all the things, then they already know me. And now it's like hard to like genuinely, like both of us get to know each other on the same level because they already know everything about me supposedly, and like, but half of it's out of context or all these things. So it's just like starting from scratch, both of us not knowing anything about each other.
I think it's also like
him thinking he knows everything about my life.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
That makes sense.
So,
I think it goes to intention too.
Yeah.
Like I think if I knew all this stuff about her, it's like our kind of intentions as
yeah, I'd be like, what is your
going
intention
into-
here? Like, do you actually think I'm a cool person, or do you think being in the public eye is cool? Like, explain yourself.
So then you knew that there was no like inclination of him wanting fame out of this. It
Yeah,
was just truly
there was
for
no
you.
motive besides
no motive of
pursuing
that.
me.
Has that happened before? Has there been?
Not really
like,
to me.
Okay, not to you, but maybe to someone else
Yeah,
in the
maybe
family.
to someone else in the family.
Okay, but that's purely just speculation. Like nobody knows for sure.
I know for sure.
Oh.
I'm just not going to disclose anything there.
All right, we just got into some deep tea there. I guess we'll stay away from that. Okay.
I was actually just thinking about this last night. So we didn't have like TV growing up. We had like a box TV that we would watch old movies on, but we didn't have like anything mainstream. So I never had this like perception of like being on TV was cool, or the cool people were on TV or anything like that. So when I was on TV, it didn't mean much. It didn't like, I wasn't all of a sudden cool or anything like that. You know, it was just me living my life.
She's
so
pretty cool, though.
But what'd you say?
I said you're pretty cool though.
Oh yeah, but yeah, lots of things with my childhood looking back were quite different, even though I thought it was normal at the time.
I'm sure, yeah.
But yeah, like we didn't, a huge thing was like we didn't drink Coke, but it was like no sugar. We didn't have any sugar of any kind. You wouldn't find it in our pantry, nothing. So, but for that, like we were all really healthy. Everything we ate was organic, natural. We grew a lot of our own stuff. And like even when like the season would come around and people would get sick, like it would go through the family in a week's time, with 11 people. So it was like we were like really healthy and active, and grew up on 45 acres with not houses, horses, cows, horses, cows, chickens, ducks, guineas, gardens. We all had our own garden at one point.
Wait, that's so
I
gnarly.
remember we had like the family garden that we would all tend to, and then we all reached a certain age where we wanted to do our own garden. And some did better than others. My garden did not do good. I remember like trying to keep my garden alive for like 2 years. And I got a few things. I remember getting a watermelon this big. I was so proud of that watermelon. But it was funny because like after I just let my garden go, the soil there, or like the weeds there, were so rich. It was like the whole field
They were thriving.
just brown, and then the weeds there were so rich. I was like, well, at least I helped the weeds out.
Nice.
That's so funny. Now, your family, like, living, I'd say, like, kind of like homesteading style. Would you
Yeah.
say that?
I guess we set the trend because that seems to be really trendy now.
Big on
Yeah.
TikTok now.
Was it-
Got
was it-
Ballerina Farm, you know,
Right?
Nar Smith.
Right.
Everybody's doing that. It's a
Wearing,
trend. It really,
wearing these nice dresses and hanging the laundry on the line.
That's
and
beautiful.
Feeding the garden.
You
like
guys
that was
are
my
the
childhood.
OGs.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, you guys hung laundry on the line and everything.
Yeah.
Wait,
The
did
only
you have a
time we
washing
ran the
machine?
dryer. Yeah, we had a washing
Okay,
machine.
good.
Just didn't
We would
dry.
do about 6 loads of laundry a day.
Your parents' motivation for raising you guys like this, was it like religiously motivated?
I think for my parents, they both just experienced a lot in the world and just wanted to protect us from that. My mom was an only child with a single alcoholic mother, and her mom wasn't really in her life till she was like 12, 13 years old when she was threatened to be taken away. So my mom had a pretty rough childhood and was just like experienced a lot of just the world and the hurt and the, you know, just all the toxic things that come from that. And so that led to just being a lot more sheltered than most people, which I think there's definitely an aspect of that, but I don't think you need to like pretend like it doesn't exist to protect your kids from it. So I think I couldn't say that like it was like, yes, I was raised in a Christian home, but I don't think my parents did a really good job of like, I never perceived that the way I was raised was because that's what God wanted type of thing. You know, it wasn't like you have to do this, you have to dress this way, you have to do these things to be good. And like, it wasn't like that. It was more just a lifestyle that I guess my mom wanted. She wanted to have lots of children. She wanted land. She wanted all these things. And we were way out in the country. And I remember going like 2 months without even leaving the farm. One day I was
Holy
like,
cow.
I haven't been to town in a long time.
And what is town? How many people are in town?
Well, our address was Wiggum, and that was 600, but Cairo is where we would go. It was only like 10, 15 minutes away. And what's population of Cairo?
2,500.
25?
Holy cow.
Not
No,
2,500.
town is-
I think 10,000.
10,000 people is nothing, though.
Yeah, 10,000.
Okay.
Like
Is
that's,
population of Cairo.
man, so you guys were really out in the boonies. Like you're
Yeah.
really,
Well, you didn't
there's
even
nobody.
seem to go to town very often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so all you see
Yeah,
is your
far from
family
town.
all the time.
Yeah, and the goats.
Man.
Did other families come to your house?
Yeah, we would have. There's one family that we've known them my entire life, and still to this day, like, can't get away from them. We wind up in the same place and have been friends forever. And we had other families that we would hang out with, but even some of that got to the point where it was like, okay, a lot of these. I don't want to get into that, but there was one family that we would like go to fellowship with for a while, and then eventually my parents were like, this is not healthy, this is not God, this is just pure legalism. And so I think it was hard for my parents because they didn't want to they wanted us to be in church, but they didn't want just the production of it, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, what do you mean
So,
about
like-
a family like just following pure legalism? Were they doing things, were there certain actions they were taking that they
It was type
were...
of thing where like women couldn't speak.
Oh, crap.
And like you had to wear dresses and like all these things. So it was
So,
like
no pants for women sort of
yeah.
thing?
And
Was that IBLP or was it something different?
I have no idea. I didn't hear about IBLP until a few years ago. But
Okay.
no, I think it was something different than that. Just their own big family
That's so
creed or
interesting.
whatever. But anyway, so like the first church I was ever a part of is the one I'm a part of now. I started going there when I was 17. So like growing up, we were raised in a Christian home. We would like read the Bible together as a family every night, but we weren't like a part of a church. We would have home groups now and then with other families, other people, but it was always hard finding people who were like families who were like truly after, you know, the heart of the Father and not just like a lifestyle or, you know, legalistic or just like production or all these things.
Like
so
fundamentalist
or things like that. So, which I think that's something that was perceived, like my family was a fundamentalist Christian large family, homeschool, these things was like that. Yeah, that's not the case.
When you say fundamentalist, like I'm. Yeah, just enlighten me here a little bit, because when I've seen videos and pictures of the show, you know, I'm thinking of like the visual I saw of you and all your siblings like playing instruments, and you're like nicely dressed, and it's just like the first thing I thought of was, oh, they're like the Duggars, like, you know, it seemed like a very similar sort of thing going on. And I didn't know if you were. I just assumed, oh, maybe they're Mormon, maybe they are Mennonite, or what's the other, Amish is like another group of people that. You know, I don't know. It's just that was like my initial assumption. Yeah. But I guess what you're saying is that wasn't really a group that your family like went into.
Yeah, we weren't even like part of a denomination or anything. Like we were. I look back on it. I'm like, I don't know. Like my parents never taught us like this is how you should dress or anything like that. Like my mom just like we grew up wearing dresses. But once I started doing my own shopping, it was never told that you had to wear dresses type of thing.
Okay.
It's like my mom shopped for us and those were the clothes she bought us.
That makes sense.
You know, when I'm 13, 14 out there buying my own clothes, I bought whatever I wanted. So it wasn't the type of thing where I could totally see how like looking at a picture of my family, it's like, oh, they are, you know, X category, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know what if I was to have to put my family in a category. I do not know where I would place us. Out there.
I mean, I would.
You said out there.
Yeah, out there. It's a good one. I would just say like, I feel like there's so many assumptions around just different denominations in general, and what's so often misunderstood is that there's a lot of belief systems around denominations that are very similar. I'd say honestly like 80% similar across denominations, but what is disagreed upon is what's most talked about. And so that's what's coming to the light in terms of the show. It's like, this picture of them, look, they are this denomination, so we can talk about that with them. And like, even though they probably agree on all these other things and they're probably living in a good way or following practices in this good way, it's like we can talk about the things that may be controversial more because that's often just what is more talked about in general. And so
I feel like the big question everybody probably wants to know is, do you guys drink grape juice during communion, and do you baptize babies?
I know. And this is like, you know, what's the difference?
We can't move on until we get an answer.
I know.
Well, I've had those. I've had grape juice and I've had real wine for
Oh my gosh, real wine. Alert.
I know, but this is the thing. The thing. Like, there was an episode where, like, after she turned 21, she was having a drink with her parents. Like, just a casual
champagne
drink.
To celebrate with my parents. And I can't tell you how many people were like, shame on you. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize having a few sips of champagne was a sin.
I want to talk a little bit about your upbringing.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of backstory on Jeremy and Ginger's podcast, which shout out to their podcast.
Shout out to Jeremy and Ginger. We love them. They're dear friends of ours.
The best.
Something that you had still a decent sized family is you and two sisters.
Yes.
Not 9 siblings, like not 9 kids altogether, but something that stood out to me that I wanted to ask you guys. You said you grew up in a household where basically like you were able to talk about emotions and it was a very like emotionally, I would say, it sounds like intelligent household where people were like very open about this stuff. I want to talk about that a little bit because I feel like that is something that our generation is struggling with now, because it's like it wasn't talked about a lot like when we were kids. And it's like, what did your parents do right that like made your house seem like such a safe place for that?
That's helped me so much too.
Well, I think like there's a lot of balance between my two parents. My dad was just always present in a lot of ways, very intentional about his time with us. he would work like 14-hour shifts as a nurse and then play tennis with me, or like go do something with the girls or something like that. And so he was always very intentional about his time and always was a man of his word. So it's like, if I asked him like, hey, can we play tennis tonight? And he's like, oh, sorry, I'm just a little tired, but we can do it tomorrow. Like, he would make a point to make sure it happened. And so that was just like super encouraging, not only as an example, but also just as a son, just to have a dad who is just that intentional with me. So, but then my mom, she was very, very just emotionally in tune with each of her kids, just very much like, okay, like, you know, she'd ask us about school, but she would actually like want to understand how our day at school was. It wasn't just like, okay, how was school? Oh, math sucked. Okay, have a good one. Here's some food or whatever. Like, it was actually like, we would say something and she could tell that like something was a bit off, and just like, hey, like, you can tell me, it's okay. And like, it's like, yeah, someone kind of like picked on me today. And like, we would go in depth about it, and she'd help us understand our feelings or understand our anger and talk it out, instead of just being like not having a conversation about it. And so that was just really helped us just through our school years and just our years at the home, where we all talked to each other. And even when, you know, siblings had our tiffs, we would talk to each other, and we'd, you know, apologize and actually mean our apology, not just be like, sorry you feel that way. It's like, no, sorry I did that to you. And like, I have to own my piece. It's not, it takes two to make this happen. So I'm sorry that I did this. And so, I mean, it just bred that natural, I guess you could say, emotional intelligence in me. And we dealt with a lot, you know, around our wedding, and I didn't have reactions a lot of people expected, in terms of like, you know, people, you know, there's people calling me gay, you know, literally the day I proposed, and like all this extra stuff that didn't make sense. And it's like, okay, but coming from the standpoint of your life and what you've been through, you might be projecting things. And like, Ethan in particular, he has dealt with a lot. He just went through a divorce recently, and then like he sees his, you know, sister getting proposed to, and it's like on the same farm that he got married on and everything like that. So it's like, there's a lot of emotional tension, I'm sure, for him. And so recognizing that and not being like, how could you ask that? Or like getting all frustrated at him. I'm just like, I just answered the question and moved on, because I knew.
Was that something that happened like on the show? Was that like a disagreement you guys had?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the big things on the show, actually.
Which Zach kind of protected me from a lot of that.
Like, you just weren't even aware it was going on when it was being filmed, essentially?
Well, so it was like leading up to the proposal. I didn't even know Zach was in town. He completely surprised me.
Oh, wow.
With everything. And yeah, so like he was dealing with a lot leading up to it. My whole family was there with him, like setting up everything. And when I got there, you know, proposed, beautiful, all these things. He surprised me. It was crazy. So like I was experiencing the beautiful side of it, while he was like just
it was beautiful for
handling
me too. I had a great time.
Yeah, he was just like protecting me from all that. And he like had the conversation with my brothers and everything, and he later told me like, yeah, like Ethan asked me if I was gay, and I told him like, that's ridiculous, I just proposed to your sister. You know, they asked me some questions that just I don't know where they were coming from, and like I was really frustrated about it and everything, but it was never like, I didn't even watch it either, because Zach just like, he was like, this is our proposal day, like you just remember our proposal, and we'll, you know, deal with everything else later as it comes.
I didn't feel the need to fuel that fire, like, because I wanted to give fuel to what was going well. And so, you know, there was a lot of things that happened, and I did tell her about a lot of them in due time when they were necessary, but it was more like in the weeks following, and even just like until after we were really married, I was like, oh yeah, like this happened and this is a big deal. We can talk through it and figure it out. But in the time, you didn't need to know it, because that it would have hurt you. And it's not like she didn't get some of that in her own right. Like her brothers talked to her several times about like different things So she knew some of that stuff already before the wedding. So
Yeah.
it's not like I'm like, your brothers are saying all these things and I'm not telling you about anything. Like,
Well,
no.
that must have been really hard for you, because I can't imagine, like, in marriage, you're becoming your own family, but at the same time, there's so much connection with your existing family too.
Yeah.
So that's probably very hurtful to hear that from someone who you're about to essentially be brothers with. So I guess like my question for you was, how did you handle that on your own? Because regardless of the context of the situation, just accusing somebody of something without really like knowing more, and then that being like publicly something that's shared all over the world, like you had no idea who she was when you guys met. This was never about fame. This was never about a TV show. It's kind of just like a life you almost married into. Yeah. So was that like a very stressful time for you then?
I wouldn't use the word stress. I would more say it was confusing more than anything. I didn't know how to react, really, especially because it was like the last thing I expected in terms of like, okay, like I approached them to have the conversation. I was like, hey guys, like ask me any question you want. I want to be an open book. I know this isn't usually, this is a quick timeline, everything like that. I want you guys to be as engaged and understanding as possible leading into our marriage. And like, of all the questions I was going to be asked, I didn't think that was going to come out. And so
was the quick timeline was that a concern for anybody, or was that not even like
it was brought up, but it was very brief. It wasn't like the main point or the main focus. It was more so like just quick judgments on my character of like, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. And it was like off of very little things that I actually didn't like, was just honestly taken out of context. Like when I moved there, I had to put all my stuff in a very small room, and I couldn't really keep it tidy because I was in transition. So it's like you can't really tidy up until you're in a place where you can actually put everything.
Totally.
And one of the brothers saw that as I'm messy and I don't clean up after myself. And I literally was just going there to sleep, and then I'd help Lydia with the wedding. We planned a wedding in 2 months. So
that's super fast. Abby's mom planned our wedding, so that was a huge blessing for us. Neither one of us, we just showed up, we're like, what's happening at this wedding?
Okay, so you brought up the timeline a couple times, and I'm sure that was like a part of the show as well. Like you guys, from meeting to getting engaged was like less than a month, right?
No, meeting to get engaged was like 4 months.
4 months.
It was engagement to married that was 2 months.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So meeting to day of marriage was 3 days shy of 6 months.
Yeah. Okay.
That is gnarly.
I looked it up once. I think it was 187
days. Dude, you guys need your own TV show just about you. Like, I would watch it. I like that's
if the cameras could have only been there from day
that's
one.
That's such an interesting social experiment.
We've talked about this though. We were like, we need to like write this all in a journal and like write a book about it.
Thank you to Ekster for sponsoring this portion of today's episode.
One of the most frustrating things we've run into when we travel is trying to fit all of our stuff in a suitcase. There's a lot of clothes, diapers, there's wipes, binkies, and that's why we're huge fans of Ekster's travel pack. What this travel pack does is you put all of your clothes in it, and then you suction all the air out. That way it's nice and consolidated. Yes, that's the word.
Yeah, and I think we're really incentivized now, especially with kids, to put things in as few bags as possible. Plus, you know what the airlines charge for multiple bags. It's crazy. So the travel pack is an excellent way to make your travel experience way more seamless.
It also includes a portable USB-C recharging air pump for compression on the go. Obviously, the travel pack vacuum kit is genius, but Ekster also offers a Card Holder Pro, which is a smart wallet that's trackable, so you can find your wallet whenever you lose it. I lose stuff all the time, so I'm really happy we have one of these things now.
We don't even need to talk about how many e-readers I've lost.
You've lost a ton.
I wish those were trackable.
Yeah.
But this is really cool because the Card Holder Pro is made from 100% recycled aluminum and features a smooth metal card ejector trigger for swift, effortless transactions. It also comes with a lifetime warranty for total peace of mind.
Right now, for the Ekster New Year sale, you can get up to 48% off site-wide, plus an extra 20% off your entire order by using our code UNPLANNED. Head to the link in the description or scan the QR code to upgrade your wallet now.
So the reason behind the timeline, our idea, we both talked about it.
I don't know what it was.
We both talked about it well before we were like, 6 months, we're done. Like, we didn't expect that at all. But our idea behind a timeline would be like 6 months to 2 years is like engagement period. Mm-hmm. Of like, makes like you would know in about that amount of time.
Right.
And just like how much we did in such a short amount of time. Those first 3 weeks, we hiked 5 14ers in 3 days. We went skydiving.
By the way, what's a 14er?
Yeah,
It's a 14,000-foot mountain
Holy crap!
in Colorado.
You guys did 5 of those.
We did 5 in 3 days.
Oh my gosh!
So it's like,
you guys are so fit. That's amazing.
She's fit.
okay.
Yeah.
Like, we get here. I'm like, in Colorado. I'm like, hyping her up. I'm like, okay, you have to experience Colorado for real. Because she was telling me with her friend, she's like, yeah, we've, gone to Loveland Pass and we drove to a 14,000-foot mountain. I'm like, all right, you guys haven't experienced Colorado then. And I told them, you have to hike a 14,000-foot mountain. It's a challenge, but it's also an experience because you get on top of this mountain, 360 view of just mountain range.
Yeah,
it's
that's dope.
stunning. So tell her about this. She freaks out. She's just like, yes, I need to do this. And so I plan it with her friend. I bring a couple friends and we go and we like get out of the car, round a corner, and I'm like, guys, look, there's the peak. She's just gone. She's like going already. I'm like, Lydia, where are you going? And so like I have to catch her, make sure she's okay because she's from Florida. So I'm like, you're gonna die of
Pretty
altitude
flat.
sickness. And she just keeps going, and we're talking back and forth.
Trucking that mountain.
Yeah, I'm like trying to get to know her because I like her, and I'm like, yo, like you're amazing.
Wait up.
And like we're talking back and forth, and I'm like starting to lose my breath. I'm like, I'm from Colorado. This shouldn't be happening right now. Like, how is she outpacing me? Well, she grew up in a family who doesn't eat sugar, so
All the organic
so
food.
she's like
fueling you.
no, she's super healthy, and we had a great time. But like, it gets exhausting, and it's like you're huffing and puffing.
It was kind of funny because I hate to admit this, but it was in the time where I was still trying to avoid you. We've all heard about that. I was trying to avoid him, but
Yeah.
I also at the same time really wanted to spend time with him because I was curious about who this guy was, and so like yes, I wanted to just beeline it to the top of the mountain and just get there, but I also was curious if I got ahead, if you would get ahead, and then we could be together, the two of us.
She was
'Cause if-
luring you.
She was
because
trying,
if I would have
Oh.
stuck with the
It
group, you would have spent half time with me, half time with other people. So in my trying to avoid you, I went ahead so you could get ahead so we could hike together.
She got me.
Now that
Hook,
is some
line.
mind games.
Hook, line, and sinker right there.
Had you guys dated before you met?
No.
You mean other people?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
had you,
Oh,
you
yes,
guys had
sorry.
both. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't phrase that question.
I was
right.
like, how
Most
do we
people-
date before
yeah.
we
yeah, most people date other people before they meet. I didn't know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're just
we've-
weird.
Did
We're
you guys
weird.
date before you met?
No.
We actually didn't.
No.
We literally didn't.
Yeah, we.
That's a weird question.
I said that really weird. There would have been a much better. Yeah, like from our story, we had never dated other people
Yeah.
before we started dating.
Oh,
So I don't know if that
I had
like.
gone on a couple dates, but
I wanted
Yeah.
that to be my story,
But
but you don't
knowing how
marry someone
hardcore
no,
you
that's
guys are
ridiculous.
with,
That's
like-
honestly ridiculous to be your standard.
Yeah.
But dude, 5 months and 27 days though. That's
no,
hardcore.
I get
That's
what you're
cool.
saying though, because like I feel like when you, especially when you go on a hike, you do a challenge together. You're talking the whole time. I heard that when you first met, you like go in right away asking all the deep questions.
Yeah.
You find out a lot of things
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And also, we like before we even started dating, we kind of just established that like this dating world out here, people just play too many games, and
Yeah.
we're not about that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna talk to you for 5 months to see if I want to go on a date, and then go on a date to see if I want to date you, and then date
Yeah.
you, and like take 3 years to see if you might be okay. It's like you should know their like. It shouldn't be take that long to know their character, because that's what matters. Like, you know, other things are going to change about them, but it's their character that matters. So
Yeah, and how you view marriage, because
Yeah.
like I feel like ultimately we've talked a lot about like ultimately there's lots of different fields of thought on this, but what we believe is like it's a choice to stay married and to keep working on your marriage and to, you know, keep strengthening it. And so ultimately it's not like we're gonna ever reach where it's like, oh, you got a perfect score, you get to be my partner.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh no, we just like are aligned on like what marriage is for and like how
Yeah.
we view
Actually,
it. And
it's funny you say that because our pastor, during our ceremony, it's in our wedding video, he says, love is not an emotion, love is a decision. And it's like
It's a decision you make
choosing daily and sacrificing for each other daily to
that was in my vows to you.
stay together. So.
And you know
I
what's
choose
gonna-
you today, I'll choose
that's
you every day.
beautiful. Boom.
you know what's going to prepare you for marriage the most? Marriage.
Nope, there
There's
you go.
nothing else that's going to prepare
you
you
go.
for
Mic
marriage.
drop.
That's marriage will. Because same
Okay.
with children. We've been
But
talking about that.
here's
like,
my other thing. Have
So
you
you
ever
guys are talking
had?
about children? That's been a topic of conversation.
Okay.
Oh,
So we
okay.
talked about the 5 14ers in 3 days, right?
Changing the topic.
No, I'm getting to the topic. Okay. We did 4 in one day, and that was when she was like, "All right, I'm gonna say yes to this. You know, this is a big deal. I'm gonna say yes to moving forward with us." And
In the rain, on the side of the mountain, dancing.
yeah,
Gotta add that.
that was fun.
Wow.
But we were driving back, and we were getting to know each other, and I was like, "Okay, do you like cats or dogs? Which one do you like better?"
Babies.
She said babies. Yeah, she said babies. It's like from the beginning. So she's had baby fever forever.
I get that.
So
I
my
get that.
youngest sister was like my baby. She was everything. And so the minute she started walking, I was like, I need another baby in my life. So I keep telling him like, yes, I have baby fever, but I've also wanted a baby in my life for like 9 years now. So I'm surviving. I'm doing okay. I can wait another day.
Another day.
I love the pause there before day.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we're
but
doing good.
We decided, wait a year and have the conversation. But I think we want to be parents pretty soon, just young
That's
parents.
exciting.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the best dad in the world.
So yeah, what's gonna happen is a year from now, she's gonna approach you and say, "Okay, so we're having a kid," and like here we go.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Matt set
Like,
the
on the
timeline. I was
day.
like, on the day, I was like, well,
Here it is.
it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long did you guys wait?
2 years before we started
3 years.
3
No.
years?
Two?
Oh, 3 years before we had our first son.
Yeah,
Okay.
But what happened is on our
But it's our-
anniversary, our second anniversary, I was like, it's time. And you were like, no, I'm not ready. And so we waited a few more months.
Well, I guess
That's
we officially got pregnant in October.
Yeah.
And our anniversary was July. Yeah, so it took 3 months. 3 months from our second anniversary.
Of me
was when we
convincing
got,
you.
Yeah, 3 months after our second wedding anniversary, we got pregnant.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
and what would your advice be to Zach? Because I know, like, as a dad, provider, all these things, like, you want to be a dad, but at the same time, there's so much, like, not fear, but just, like, unknown around it. So, like, and there's nothing that's actually going to prepare you to be ready to be a dad. So I'm not saying
Yeah.
convince him. That's not at all what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
She's
what
got that
advice
covered, don't
would you
worry.
have for him if he is going to be a dad in the next 2-3 years?
Oh, totally. Yeah,
No pressure.
I think if you just like go right into it, I think you're definitely going to be probably unprepared right away and just be like, what has happened? Like that, you're keeping another human alive that you're fully responsible for 24/7, and it's a lot. But then, you get past those initial months of having a baby, and then, you get to where we're at now, where we have a 2 and 3 year old who not only entertain each other every given second, they're like,
That's awesome.
They're like glued together. They
Yeah.
do everything together, but they're so fun. And now, like, where our kids are at an age where we have like full on conversations with them. So yeah, I don't know. I would say you can't go wrong either way.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just, you have to recognize that maybe, yeah, if you have kids right away after getting married, your life isn't going to look as if you had taken a couple of years and just lived the, no kids life for a bit. But then you also get this unique, cool experience with kids at a young age that other people don't get if you choose to do that,
Right.
and like right away.
That's awesome.
For sure.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
feel like, even this year, we've like had that kind of like married life, just the two of us experience. We've been everywhere.
Been to 2 countries, 15 states.
Okay.
And just done a lot.
You said 15 states. I thought I heard you say on a podcast or something 38 states.
Yeah, that was 2023,
Oh my!
2022.
Wait, so
that I
you
went
already
to
did
38
before you
states.
guys met. You went to 38
Yeah.
states.
Yeah.
And
I've
now
traveled
together
a
you've been to 15.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm just like, we've seen it all. Like,
Wait,
we're ready.
Have you guys ever thought of like doing van life or like getting a pilot's license so you could fly a plane and go
I've
different places?
100%
Yo, I haven't
thought
thought
of
of
van
that.
life.
But now you're making me spontaneous.
Dude, because I've been I've been a big fan of van life, but then recently I was like, okay, Abby doesn't like camping. What if I learn?
I've never camped.
What if I learn to get like fly a plane, and then maybe one day we can like lease or rent or whatever it is, like a small private plane that could just fit our immediate family.
Yeah.
And if I have enough hours,
Right.
and I like that's just like such a cool way to travel.
It
The reason I
would
bring
be
that
really
up
cool.
is you guys like to travel.
Yeah, so I think 100%. Like, I've totally thought about van life. I'm like, I've traveled so much, it would make sense. But at the same time, like, it wouldn't work for us because we're such people.
Yeah.
And we need community. We need, time with our friends and rich friendships. And I feel like the van life would just take from that. So the travel aspect and the, waking up at sunrise, in the mountains with your coffee, like that would be the dream. But all of that would just be for myself and my own enjoyment, and there wouldn't be giving, there wouldn't be community, there wouldn't be the rich aspect that comes from that.
I've thought many times about like what I want to accomplish with travel, and Lydia and I have very similar like travel motives in general, and it's just like I think the big ones are like just I think the Western national parks, just like going through California and looping back around to Colorado, that kind of big loop with national parks, and then we want to go to Switzerland and that sort of stuff.
Alaska?
But like Alaska is one. I've been to Alaska, and every time I bring it up, she's like, "We need to go now."
Right now.
But so we have our ideas, but I think for the most part we've also traveled to almost all 50 states now.
And somehow our employers have kept us.
Yeah.
I want to know, getting engaged, like your timeline, just under 6 months.
Yes.
Had you guys had a fight before you got married?
A couple
think
disagreements, but nothing like major.
The biggest tension actually before we got married actually was whether or not we were going to film our wedding. That was the biggest tension.
That's sad.
And it was pretty big because it was like his family, you know, just wanted it to be the wedding, and this was like, well, this is my life and it's hard. No, I don't want. So it was really hard, but we resolved that within 3 hours, I think. We were both just like, okay, we need to take our own time. And then we came back together, and because I think initially Zach was like, you need to make a decision. This is your wedding. I was like, no, it's our wedding. This is our life. We need to make the decision. So yeah, there were definitely aspects that were tough about it, and we tried to like make it as guest friendly as possible. And yeah, we told the guests, like, if you don't want to be on camera, just don't sign this. And
because you have siblings, right, that don't
But
want to be on camera.
yeah,
right?
I have an oldest sister. She's amazing. She's living her happy life with her 4 kiddos and her husband.
Wow.
And
she like loves
Only 5 more to go.
She loves she loves the family too, and like I think a lot of people think that because she's off camera she hates the family, but
well,
she's like
people have spread
everybody's
lies.
close.
People have
with
spread
everybody,
lies that
so.
like the family was toxic, so she moved away type of thing. And it's like, what are you saying? But no, she's close with everyone. She comes around as often as she can. She lives far away though. But she just, her and her husband don't want to be in the public eye, and I 100% respect that, and I am jealous sometimes.
Yeah, I think a big thing that we've like learned with just disagreements that we have is like, I think that one of the things we focus on is we're a team against whatever struggle it may be, in terms of like whether that's dealing with the cameras or just disagreements at our wedding. We're just like, well, this is our wedding, and like we're getting married, and you know, some people may not understand the timeline, but this makes sense for us, and so let's face this as us, and not, you know, let it be like I think this way and you think this way, and I won this argument and you lost this argument, or something like that. It's like,
we are a team. It's not you fighting against me. It's us against the problem.
and that's what happened with the cameras.
You guys
I was-
versus the producers. Okay.
Right. Well, but that's what happened is I was like, this is your decision because you've dealt with this more. I was putting it on her, and she's like, no, like, you're in this with me. I need to help with this decision because it's all the same yours.
That's good, because then if something does go wrong, it's not like you chose this. It's like, no, we both have to face whatever consequences come of the decision we make together.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that is just a common thing in marriage, where it's like, okay, well, you did this and I did this. It's like, nope, everything's us. Everything's we.
Yep.
If this question is too much, just no need to answer it. But I'm just so curious, because I know a lot about the social media side of things, but not the reality TV side of things when it comes to like revenue and finances. With the revenue you get paid on the show, is that enough to like pay your bills, or do you have to get like another job to supplement what you're making when you're on TV?
Lydia went about this like in the best way possible.
So I mean, maybe you could live just off of it, but not really. But so when I was 16, I was just like, or just at the beginning when we started filming, I was just like, I don't want any of this to change who I am, how I go about life, how I see things. So when I was 16, I started working, and I was like, I'm just gonna save the money from the show, set that aside, get a job, and live off of that. so that I'm just a normal person. Like, I want to just be as grounded as possible. So I started working. I had like 6 to 7 part-time jobs when I was 16, 17, and then
6
when I
to
was 17, 16, 6 to 7 part-time jobs.
Oh my gosh.
Everything from like, just 2 hours babysitting in the morning
Okay.
to like working 8 hours a day, 7 hours a day for a mechanic and his wife who had a farm. And so I did everything from like office job to helping him in the shop to like digging trenches and cutting down trees, building fences, all the things.
That's so
I started doing that when
Okay.
I was like 16, 17. And then at 17, I started working as a bank teller. Worked that job for about a year. And then worked at a jewelry store. So yeah, I kind of just went at it like, I don't want to rely on the show. I don't want that to be my identity. I don't want like that to be who I am. So started working and live off to that. But it was awesome because, that just set me up for, even more savings.
I want to talk about Newlywed life because
Yes.
that's so fun and it's such a special season. And I still look at our first year of marriage like so fondly. We talk about it all the time. So what has that transition looked like for the two of you guys? Very young and married because you're 21 and 24. Like, what is that like? Because I think a lot of people are like thinking about getting married like late 20s, 30s. Like, they don't know what this kind of can look like in your early 20s.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the big thing, moving in together. I think that was really fun. Just
It was awesome.
Wait, yes, because I remember this was a part of the show. You guys didn't even kiss until you were married.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
No
were
way.
kind of
Saved our
crying.
first
They were
kiss.
crying about everything.
yeah.
Wait, I didn't
Oh, they
realize
wanted to know
that.
everything.
yeah, we saved our first
saved our
kiss
first
for
kiss.
the wedding day.
You saved your
So-
first kiss
Which
for the
was
wedding day?
Yeah.
crazy. 'Cause
That is wow.
Which,
Hey, they
that
only had to
whole
wait
story
6
is
months,
crazy,
okay?
'cause- right, it was only 6 months.
It's
Were
like-
you
No, that
were
whole
you
story's
like making
crazy.
out with your hand to prepare? Dude, I
my
legitimately did that before our first
I don't
date.
think
So,
they would
to
admit that if that was the case.
clarify.
That's so funny.
We had relationships before. We had kissed
Right.
people
Okay,
before.
so you knew how to kiss.
We knew how to kiss.
Okay.
But we had to practice like, okay, how are we gonna kiss?
We
so we
knew
practiced
how we
the
wanted to
dip,
do.
but we would not kiss. It was
Oh,
like
the temptation.
it was.
That's awesome.
It was tough, but it was good. And
How long did you hold the kiss for? Was it a quick
it was
one?
long?
You
It was
guys,
long.
it was a long
We
kiss.
kissed probably 5 times on the first kiss.
Did people
Yeah, it
have
was
to look away at the wedding? Where did you make
We
anybody
didn't-
It wasn't.
we
It
didn't
didn't make
make it
people
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
Okay, good. Dude, you should have made people
We
uncomfortable just for
should've.
the heck of it.
Just made out
Just
for 2
make your
minutes.
grandma uncomfortable.
Everybody.
See,
We
but on
waited
the
long
show-
enough.
Oh my god.
You can wait for 5 minutes.
Just like tugs are flying. at the
Ew,
end.
Matt.
No.
Matt
Sorry.
James.
Sorry. That was too far.
No, but like the show really like pointed that out. Actually, is like they took like all the clips of us like during our photo shoot and during like our reception and every little piece of us, kissing each other.
Yeah.
It's like now that they're married, they're kissing, and they had like a montage for a minute of us kissing.
You're like, no one needs to see this.
I'm like, everybody kisses on their wedding day. Like,
Did you guys watch?
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch the season or no?
no, I watched some
I
here
haven't
and there
watched
with like
hardly
friends,
any of the show.
but it
Okay.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like a lot. It was more just like because my friends were watching.
That must be crazy to have it all go out and you don't even know what's getting posted.
Well, because everyone's DMing you.
Oh.
That's how I find
Or-
out
yeah,
what's on
or
the
social
episode. I don't
media.
watch it. I just look on social media to read like 2-3 DMs. I'm like, okay, that's what
Interesting.
happened tonight.
Or like they'll comment on the post. They'll be like, "I'm so sorry that this happened," or "I'm so excited
You're
for
like,
you."
that was
in
a while
this.
ago. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I've already moved past that. Thanks for the reminder.
So is that how you found out about like the whole like thing with her brother when people reach out to you and they're like, dude, I just like saw you get in this massive argument on live television, or like I don't know, like
No, it was more. I had told her.
Yeah, like
they
I
had
knew
done some
everything
things.
that happened, but it's definitely
But when it
Like,
I think
more-
the details came out when the show was kind of airing and everything of like
yeah.
this is the timeline of when they did it and this is why they did it and like just some of the
But it's
That
details.
must be
also-
weird too to relive all that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
that is the hard part.
Especially
how many
because it's
months
like-
afterward?
I think it was like 6 months.
yeah, that
And
must be so weird.
The thing about it was like we had a lot of conversations privately with some of the family, and so
Okay.
we're like getting past a lot of this stuff, and then
yeah,
it like
things are
comes
resolved,
up again.
right?
Yep.
That's such an interesting world to be in.
yes, what happened was awful and wrong and all these things, but then you're having thousands of people message you like, you need to move away from your family, they're toxic, all these
Yeah.
things, and it's just like it makes it so much bigger
Yeah.
than what happened.
I think the
It's
biggest
just-
thing that makes people say that stuff too is like their own experience.
Yeah.
100%.
Like so many times we would get like we did the tortilla slap challenge. I'm sure you've seen it.
Oh, yeah,
all
that's
across.
fun.
And like it was so fun. Like it was a great experience. Half the comments were like, "This is abuse. This is the early signs of abuse and trauma and everything like that." And I'm like,
was Lydia just her arm back?
She's slinging
No,
tortillas.
but that's what I'm saying. I'm worried about Zach. His face is red.
That's what I'm saying though, because like we edited it so that like it was almost every one of Lydia's slaps. She was just like, psh, 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 and it was just like real quick form, and like it was funny. But like the other half of the comments,
I need to see this video. I want to see Lydia just take you out. I'm sorry. Why am I laughing so hard?
no, it's good. It's good. It is. She does take me
awesome.
out. I'm like, oh wow.
Thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring this portion of today's episode. We're in the new year, and this is the perfect time to get your budget figured out. I know Abby and I have been having a lot of money conversations recently, and one of our favorite personal finance apps is Rocket Money because they help you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and help lower your bills so you can grow your savings.
I know we've talked about this in the past, but there are so many subscriptions nowadays. It is so easy for them to get out of hand. I know in our household, we had so many subscriptions we didn't even know we were paying for every month. We were just hemorrhaging money regularly and weren't even using the services provided. Plus, sometimes you never know. Your kids could even be signing up for some things because our son, our youngest, signed us up for several TV subscriptions that we weren't even aware of until we downloaded Rocket Money.
Rocket Money tracks your subscriptions and has the ability to cancel within the app with just a few taps, saving time and avoiding charges.
You can also set budgets and goals, get personalized insights, and regular reports. You also receive real-time alerts for large transactions, upcoming bills, refunds, and low balances.
Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join rocketmoney.com/unplanned. That's rocketmoney.com/unplanned. rocketmoney.com/unplanned.
I would love to hear from you guys. Just like
Switch the interview here.
Sure.
Okay, now
Lay
we're
on
on the
us.
spot.
Yeah.
Ask us a question.
Welcome to Unplanned.
All right.
Yeah.
the unplanned way.
But basically, like, you guys went from obviously working jobs together. The only way like we really prepared for this was listening to like your 2 interviews from like 2023 or something.
No
Oh,
way.
we're incredible.
interviewed each
that's so
other.
fun.
Yeah,
So like
it was awesome.
we're really excited to just get to know you guys genuinely. But you guys work jobs together, and then like this stuff blows up, and like it kind of feel like changed your life in a lot of ways.
Totally.
I feel like it.
And
did.
so it's definitely changed mine being in the public eye. Obviously, you get a lot of opinions, and I feel like there's haters are going to hate. I feel like that's the common thread around influencers and stuff like that. What has been kind of the biggest, one of the biggest blessings? And then what are some moments where it's like you realize it's just overwhelming, or it's like, because I mean, several times for us, it's been like, okay, let's go buy a farm and like just exclude ourselves from all this and just be done.
Yeah.
And it's like, have you guys had moments like that? And or like, what does that look like for you?
I'll start with the blessings.
Yeah.
The blessing is that we get to work together. That is something that it's like we spend so much time together. I think about a lot of my friends where their husband goes off to work all day. And I'm like, that's so sad. You only see him like from 6 to like whenever you go to bed. I'm like, that's sad. And then if someone has to do something that night, you don't see them all day. We spend a lot of time together, and we've always just been that type of clingy couple anyway. So it's like so fun that we get to spend all this time together. And now that we have kids, we get to spend so much more time with our kids than most families get to, and I feel sad that that's their experience, but for us, I'm like, gosh, this is so great. Like we get to really, both of us get to be the biggest influence in our kids' lives, and it's not like a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad. Like we both get to be so hands-on with our kids, and that is something I do not take lightly at all. Like I am so grateful for that.
For sure.
As far as the downsides, they have been... We have therapy. I mean, truthfully, that's what it is. We have individual therapy. We have marriage therapy. We have a lot of things because humans are just simply not designed to have this much feedback from people. Like you're used to having your neighbors, random people you see in public who would never say the things that they say online.
Well, Matt, I kind of love, sorry to interrupt, but I kind of love that you guys were able to work through family conflict off of the TV show without other outside opinions, even though like all that stuff still aired 6 months after there was, you know, conflict and drama on the show.
Yeah.
Like, think about going through that live and then trying to navigate that when you have a million different people telling you what to do.
Yeah.
So that kind of almost makes me, because I don't want to, the content we make is so different from reality TV, but there are some similarities. And so it's like, man, sometimes when we're going through stuff and there's like all this noise that's happening, it's like, man, that'd be sick to like, you know, film everything and then slowly release it like 6 months later. So if anybody has an opinion that could mess with you, you're just like, oh, they're kind of just sharing their own experience and it has nothing to do with me. You know?
Yeah. We hate to talk about like the negative stuff, but it is a reality of it. And I think the thing that's been such a blessing is that we were married when we started all this, and then it
100%.
started slow. We had a really strong foundation. Not that you guys like this isn't like comparing our situations because they're totally different. But we had this foundation of like, okay, we'd been together for 3 years. We'd been married for a year before anything like really 4 years of like us really growing up and being together. Like we were a unit, and so there was never a time where someone said something about me and Matt questioned anything about me, or someone said something about Matt and I questioned anything about Matt, or someone said anything about our marriage and I questioned our marriage. It was never that. It was always like you're saying, us versus this. And like it has been such a like there's a maturing process that this has expedited in me. Whereas like, okay, I have to really know what I believe about myself. I really have to know what I believe about my husband. I really have to know what I believe about our marriage and our family and all these things, because there's so many other voices that could be telling me otherwise. But it's like, oh wait, we come back to, I know where our identity is. I know what this is all rooted in, and nothing can shake that. And so it has made us stronger in a lot of ways. Too.
And I don't want to like get too much into stuff that like involves your family but not necessarily you guys, but just with prepping for the episode, it also made me sad that there's been like divorce in your family, which like the first thing I thought of immediately was like, man, the public eye was too much. Like I literally, like that was the first thing that I thought of, and made me so sad because it almost made me think like, man, would these relationships would they have worked out if there was no sort of outside, you know, pressure? Because some people can't take it. Like some people can't take all the other voices and all the noise, and it's very hard. So I'm sure being on reality TV was very stressful on your parents and really stressful on your sibling and their spouse, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I have to keep myself from thinking about is what would life be right now if we weren't on TV?
Yeah.
Because it would be completely different, and there's so many unknowns, and you know, it could make me just not grateful for where I am right now. Because, we've walked through some really hard things in the public eye, and there have been, you know, it's been a struggle doing that. And I'm sure if we weren't in the public eye, life would look way different. But I can't compare an unknown to where I'm at right now and not be grateful for where I am. So I know being in the public eye did add a lot of stress. With my parents, I don't think it was being in the public eye. With my brother, I think the public eye really affected his ex, and I think she put too much of her validation and identity in what people thought and how much attention she got from that, and so that kind of just carried her off. But with my parents, I don't think it was like, I couldn't say if the show didn't happen, my parents would still be together. You know, so but it's definitely something I have to keep myself from thinking about. It's like, where would life be? I do know I wouldn't be married to you because I wouldn't have had the freedom to travel for 6 weeks to go to Colorado and meet you and just go hike some 14ers and say yes to whatever the Lord has for us to get married 6 months later.
That's sweet. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't pick and choose only the good or only the, you know, you get to,
there's gonna be battles,
you take it as it comes, and then you do with it and steward what you have well. And I think you guys have really done that. I'm curious, since you brought up like your parents separating, was that difficult planning like a life with someone that you're saying like we're gonna spend forever together? Is that difficult coinciding like with the reality of what was happening with your parents' marriage?
Yeah, 100%. I think there was a point shortly after my parents separated where I was just like, I just didn't want anything to do with any relationships. Like, was like, what's the point type of thing? Because this one, marriage that you've looked up to your whole life is come to nothing.
That's
not nothing,
heartbreaking.
because there's children and there's proof from it, but it's like, so what is it worth type of thing. So I definitely had to work through that for a while of just like, love is a choice, and you can choose to work through things or you can choose to go your separate ways. Also, just like, I'm not going to let fear hold me back from anything. Like, that's not going to be the reason I do or don't do something. So, but then with our relationship, like, my parents had been separated for like 3 years of when we met. So I had kind of had time to process that. But what was really hard was like, I think it was like a month after we got married was when their divorce was finally finalized. So it was just like, whoa, we're starting our marriage, and
actually, I'll even add to that. My parents, they didn't have like it didn't go big or anything like that, but they've had their struggles before, and so like I also had that in the back of my head, and so it was like.
So like my parents were got a divorce right after we got married. His parents were struggling, so it was just like, what's happening here?
So like for her, like there was resolve because it finally was like the divorce was finalized, and for me it's like they're getting to resolve. My parents are stepping in the right direction, which is great, and they're learning a lot and doing great. And so it's interesting to start a marriage when you see struggles in the examples of what marriage is to us. And so like I think the biggest part was understanding that we're creating our own family and we're creating our own understanding between that. And so like a lot of our conversations were around like, how does your family do this? And how does my family do this? And like, what do we want for our family that's different from the two? And so like really creating our own identity as a family instead of kind of taking what expectations we may bring from our own families.
Yeah. What do they say? There's like a quote that says, you marry your unfinished business. Like, so just like the fact that you're already forward thinking of like, okay, wait, we need to dismantle, rebuild, and start from scratch in some areas. And I think that's what every new couple has to like examine. Or if you don't, you're just gonna keep repeating. I think that's just what humans do. That's what our nature wants to do.
I couldn't help but think with, talking about struggles in marriage, something that just like absolutely shattered my heart when I was listening to you guys share your story on other podcasts you've been on was hearing about your sibling that died at 17 months.
Yeah.
And I just cannot, like, as a parent, I can't think of a more horrific thing to go through. As a sibling, I can't think of something more horrific to go through. How the heck do you navigate that? Like, how does that work?
Honestly, I think that has more to do with my parents' divorce than the show.
That's what I feel.
I think that brought a lot. Oh, no, I think because our household wasn't necessarily one to just talk about everything and be vulnerable, when that happened, we didn't know how to talk about it. And especially with it, being in the hands of my mom, we weren't going to dare talk about it around her. So, I think, definitely with us, like, not talking about the hardest thing in our childhood, it kind of just bred that in general. Like, we just don't talk about hard things. And I can't imagine how that affected my parents, about just like not facing the hard things, not talking about the hard things, and kind of having to shut up your emotions a little bit because it's too painful to feel again after something like that. So like, it's so sad because I can see it in my mom sometimes, which is like, does she know how to connect and how to feel and how to like know her emotions and all those things? And I'm like, at times I can be like, can't you just see this? And other times I'm like, I can imagine she can't. And because she's had to shut that up because it's too painful. So I think that's definitely affected our family more than most of them realize, because it happened so long ago. So it's not relevant today, but no, it's here still with us. But yeah, that was definitely really hard to walk through as a family, but I think the hardest part for me as I've grown up was how little he was acknowledged.
Yeah. Well, that makes me so sad.
Yeah. I don't think I visited his grave till I was like 9. Because it was just too hard to go back to.
That's so hard. Because like you said, like you have so much empathy for your parents being like, I want to visit these emotions. I don't want to visit the guilt and the pain. And but they're there. Yeah. And I think even just probably having to talk to their kids about it in a much different way, like even talking, we just had a late term miscarriage, and so figuring out how to navigate that with our kids. I'm like, how do I talk about this? Like, how do I can't imagine with your parents without outside support knowing how to have those conversations. Because how old were you at the time?
I was 4. Yeah.
And you remember?
I remember everything too well.
Yeah, I saw that as a massive just piece in the puzzle of a lot of struggles she had. And like, we've been to his grave multiple times since we've been together, and I've asked her every question I can just for her to remember it, because I know it means a lot to her. I think like coming at a place of support instead of like, no, we can't talk about this, has really been helpful for her. And like she said earlier, like giving her a voice to understand things. And so.
And it's not like now my family and I can talk about it like we do. But I think because we didn't like talk about it when it was raw and real and right there, there's just, I don't know, it just kind of built a wall to your emotions.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like there's a timing aspect to this.
Yeah.
And it was unprocessed, so it's like, it seems like you had a process. You're still processing since it was something that you kind of just couldn't really talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I remember very vividly when I was still 4 talking, like asking questions about Joshua to my dad instead of my siblings, and like we started talking about it, but then Mom walked in the room and he was like, we can't talk about this anymore, because she was there and just couldn't talk about it around her. So the one time I remember trying to talk about it, I couldn't.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, I want to clarify too, like all the family members are going through this. So it's not just like this is nothing against the family for not doing these things, but I think there's a very real experience of like what they're going through today. Like she said, it's still very much present in what they're going through today, of like just not always understanding the hard things or not always talking or acknowledging them. And so, nothing against how Kim went about it. And, I think there's a lot of healing that she needs to go through because of it. But I think, and obviously there's probably some things that needed to be talked about in those moments, but I guess I just want to clarify, like...
Yeah, totally. Like it's a really hard thing. There's not necessarily a guidebook on what to do when things like this happen and everyone's hurting. But I think while a lot of people listening to this can't relate to that specific situation, I think families go through traumatic events. And they don't know how to talk to their kids about it. But hearing you being brave enough to say, like, I do feel like it should have been acknowledged more. And I do wish that in that time there were more open conversations. I think that can shine a light for a lot of families. And it's like, it's also gives you confidence and bravery as a parent, and being like, okay, my kid, I can't just, pretend like nothing happened and they're not going to know because they're 4 years old. Yeah. Like, it's like, oh, they're so perceptive. And this honestly lays a framework for how your family and any family would continue to have emotional circumstances. I know, what they say, like, people go through traumatic mini traumas every 5 years on average, and then like a big trauma every like 25 years. Like these things will continue to happen.
We just interviewed a Harvard professor that said every 5 years something horrible happens in your life. And it's like, how do you keep moving forward knowing that like you're still going to suffer. You're still going to struggle. There's still going to be awful things that happen in the world to you and around you. Like, how do you move forward amongst all that?
Yeah, like that, how you handle that as a family lays a groundwork for how you will continue to handle mini traumas, bigger things, even just conflict in general.
Yeah.
Gosh, thank you for sharing that. That has to be really hard to navigate and process this many years later.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does make me feel so much just compassion towards your parents, because I can't imagine a marriage. The statistics aren't positive when a marriage undergoes something as traumatic as like a child loss. Like they're not positive, and so it's like I know that they were dealt like an incredibly hard hand in that.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That's
mean,
sweet that you visited his gravesite. I think that's really precious, and like that's very meaningful.
It was really fun. I was like, okay, well, we got some extra time. Like, what do we want to do? And she was like, we can go to the farm. We can do this. And I'm like, well, I'm hungry. You want to go grab lunch and go have lunch with Joshua? And it was just like a super fun time. And it was just like really...
What? I bawled my eyes out for an hour.
Yeah, but it was like...
it feels special, though, to acknowledge him.
It was fun in the sense of like just kind of sitting there kind of picnic style and like having her reminisce with me and just like interactively. And it was just like cool to be brought into that.
Yeah, I think about that
because I didn't necessarily know like I knew some, like I heard the stories, but I just wanted to ask the questions and like be really like brought into who he was before everything. So yeah, it was really cool.
Being 4, like that has to be one of your earliest memories.
Yeah, some of the earliest memories. I remember when he was born.
Okay.
I remember a few memories of his childhood, like waking him up. I remember
you didn't did you carry him?
Yeah.
Let's go.
When you have that many kids, you're like, yeah, pick them up.
I remember specific details about his childhood. I remember that afternoon he was sleeping on his blankie out in the sun, and then every detail of the accident I remember too well. I was in the car when it happened, and
oh my god,
my mom, she like freaked out, got out, pulled him out from under the car, and then her and all my siblings ran to the house to grab the phone. And Isaac and I, my younger brother, were in the car. And I got out, I saw him, and it's terrible. So I ran back in the car, and I just told Isaac, I was like, don't look, just get out the other door. We gotta go. So those details I remember too well. But I am blessed to remember some moments of his childhood too.
Gosh.
You're freaking 4, and to have to tell your sibling, like, hey, don't go out this door. Yeah. Just like, yeah, no 4-year-old should have to experience that.
And I can even hear now you navigating like younger, and then our youngest younger, like having to like reframe all that. And I remember on a podcast you shared, like one of your first times like driving together in a car, you played a song that your mom wrote about your younger brother. And I feel like there's no coincidence that you felt safe enough to open up about like this incredibly hard thing, because something very, not to compare again, but something very similar happened to Matt and I the first time we drove in a car together. I told you about a loss that what I had never really talked to many people about. Yeah. And there's just something like, there's something you can't explain when you just feel like your soul is safe with like with someone else. Like, and that was after our first mountain before we were dating and anything like that. We were in the car at like 1 a.m. to try to get to the mountain before the sunrise. And he started out with just like, all right, let's, pick a genre, pick your favorite song type of game.
I call it the Spotify game.
That's fun. Yeah. You learn a lot about something that way. That's good.
Seriously.
So let's get to the serious stuff.
Yeah, he started out, with his genre. I did one, and then he did one, and then I went deep all the way.
I think I like jokingly said like, what's a song that just like has a lot of meaning to you, or like something you play often, or even like something sad, I think.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect that, but it was good. It was awesome to like.
That was probably when I told you like about the family band, about me losing a brother. And, like, I just dumped everything and then played the song.
She like gave it the context, and I was like, thanks for sharing. Like, I really appreciate that. And then she shared the song, and she started crying, and I
Put
like,
his hand on my leg.
she remembers that.
Oh,
He put his hand on my
When they
knee.
do
that's
that,
a big
you can't
deal.
move.
That's a
You
big
can't.
move.
You can't move.
Yeah.
Frozen.
Abby put her hand on my leg when I put my hand around her on the first date, and I remember I was like, I
was
felt like I was
frozen.
being struck like lightning. It
I
was like my
know.
body was
You
just
can't
like,
move.
You cannot.
this is
Paralyzed.
a girl. It's like, you know that Inside Out, like it's like girl, girl,
Error.
and the guy just froze. He's like. Like he's looking at Riley, the guy that thinks Riley's cute or whatever.
No.
That was me on that.
I
first
remember
date
the way
with
my
Abby.
hip hurt so bad
I'm
because of
just
the way
like,
I was leaning, but I was
oh
like, I
my
can't
gosh.
move.
Right.
Yeah.
You're uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but you're just like,
Boy.
Well, I'm glad that moment is remembered by the hand on the leg. That's
Yes.
special
Well, then later
moment.
that day on the first mountain, he put his arm around me.
Oh my god!
And then I leaned my head on his shoulder.
Aww.
Yeah. And same thing. I was like, girl, girl.
That's sweet. Well, I love even in that picture of like you guys in the car. It's like, hey, like this is how I'm feeling, and then you saying like, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I think that's really beautiful, and that's essentially what marriage is. The rest of it was what I'm learning so far. And I think that like marriage is about like this lovey-dovey newlywed stage. It's like that's so fun, and then like also like later on like there's a harder stage, like harder season. Like we're going through a harder season. I'm like, oh, I think back to that stage. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like when everything was so fun, but we were all like laying the groundwork to prepare us for like this event, and then we still feel closer because of it. Thank you to Huel for sponsoring this portion of today's episode. Now that we are in a season of life where our kids are sleeping a little bit more, our time in the morning has been cut dramatically, so we really need to get up and going and out the door in a short amount of time nowadays. And that is why these Huel nutritionally complete ready-to-drink meals have been so convenient for us.
Their Black Edition Ready to Drink is a complete meal, 35 grams of protein, 27 essential vitamins and minerals, balanced macros, and is under $5. Cheaper than a latte, and it actually keeps you full.
They also have chocolate, vanilla, and they have an iced coffee flavor too.
The strawberry banana, in my personal opinion, is the best. It tastes just like a famous yogurt I would drink, and it just brings me back to my childhood. So tasty. I feel like sometimes the protein drinks that you have in the mornings from some of these brands are just a little off. This flavor though, killer. So good, so tasty, 10 out of 10. Can't go wrong with the strawberry banana.
Huel also makes a daily greens ready-to-drink drink, and it's developed by nutritionists as well with 42 vitamins, minerals, and superfoods, only 25 calories, 4 grams of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, and no prep at all. It's lightly sparkling and genuinely refreshing, which is not what you usually expect from a greens drink. If you're trying to feel a little more put together or just want some easy wins in your day, this combo is such a good place to start. Grab Huel today with our exclusive offer of 15% off online with our code UNPLANNED15 at huel.com/unplanned15. New customers only. Thank you to Huel for partnering and supporting our show.
I do want to talk about real quick. We've talked about so much, but you gradually mentioned your family having a band. I feel like that's so unique and so not like ordinary for a family to like go on tour.
Well,
as
to
a
have enough
family.
members of their
Yeah.
family to create a whole
You guys
band.
have a whole orchestra? Like what exactly
Pretty
is
much.
this?
The thing
I mean,
about
we
it too,
had
though, they
everything.
went everywhere.
We traveled everywhere from like Minnesota and Texas was the farthest west we went. And then obviously Florida was farthest south we went. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, like Kentucky, Virginia, that loop. All in there. Kind of went there. But yeah, we had a family band. We had, let's see if I can name off all the instruments. So piano, violin, accordion, mandolin, banjo, guitar, upright bass, 2 violins, 2 guitars. Yeah, we had a nice variety. And then my oldest brother has the best bass voice. And then, yeah.
That's so
We
impressive.
just jammed out. It started with us just jamming out at home because my mom was a music major in college, so she just naturally taught all of us music, just the simple stuff, piano, music theory.
Music theory ain't simple.
It's not.
I was like, that's
When I said that, I was like, not simple, but still. It started with just us growing up learning about music. Some of the children excelled more than others. I wasn't one of the ones that like really stuck to a certain instrument. But then like my oldest siblings, they would get together just with their violin, cello, and what else? Guitar maybe. and just play songs together. And then we decided to go to the local nursing home and just entertain the old folks.
That's
because
cute.
there's nothing better.
That's
nothing
honestly
more.
like it's
How
the
awesome is
best.
that?
And
Anyway, so it started with that, and then some of like the nurses or some people there would just be like, "You guys should come sing at our church." And I remember the first church we got invited to, we were just like, we should probably learn some hymns or something, because we were playing like folk. I forget the names of the songs we were playing, like Red Wing, I think is one of them. Just folk songs.
It would have been funny if you guys would have
so
learned like modern pop music and done like a folk version of it. Like I've seen some really funny TikToks of people taking like a unique style, like folk family music, and then using especially like a rap song. I think that's hilarious. I would come to that show. I would find that very entertaining.
You're like, we need some hymns here.
Right. So we got invited to our first church, sang that, and apparently somehow they liked it. I look back and I'm like, oh my goodness. But I think we're more just entertaining than sounded good, because seeing 9 kids up there, including like a 2-year-old who's just going around and picking at different things. And we eventually got her like this little banjo that didn't make any noise or anything, but she would just stand there.
Oh,
that's cute.
See, I beg to differ though. I've seen these videos on YouTube, and
we did get better.
It's
we
adorable.
did get better as time went on. Like the videos you've seen are much better than our first performance.
Okay.
But yeah, it grew like crazy. I think like within 2 years. I remember one year we sang at like 111 churches in 1 year. Or events in 1 year, and that was our busiest year. And then after that, kind of slowed down a little bit, and then it's actually full circle, kind of how the show came along too, because we had out of nowhere a connection from a friend of a friend. This videographer from California needed a place to stay, and so we had a guest house. We were like, come stay at our place. First night he was at our place, we sang a few songs for him, and he was like, I need to make a music video for you guys. So kind of as a place, he stayed at our place for free. He made a music video for us for free.
And that's how you got discovered from that music video?
Sunnyside was the one that we did, and that went pretty big. And then about a month or 2 later, we had production reaching out to us, just
no way.
Love this, would you guys want to do a show? And I think we said no for about 2 years, but then here we are, season.
So they kept coming back. They kept coming back and wanted to do a show on you guys.
Yeah, but then by the time we actually finally said yes and got everything's worked out, all the things, and they sent the crew out, the band had ended because my oldest sister got married, and she was kind of like the leading force of it. So she got married. She married a musician. So now
did they release music together?
Yeah.
Is she the one performing in Branson?
Yeah.
That's so
and she's the one that doesn't. She's not on the show anymore.
But she's not on the show.
But she's doing live shows. That's cool that she's like following her passion. That's really neat.
Oh yeah,
I love
she's
that.
a violinist. She married a pianist, and they're together, amazing together. So yeah, like when she left and got married, and some of the older siblings were just growing up, and they were like, yeah, I don't like this music that we do anymore. We need to do different. All these things. So the band kind of just ended, but then they were still like, well, we still have your family. We'd still want to cover you guys, so we started filming.
That's how it came to be.
That's how it started.
Okay.
That's cool.
And now here you are.
Just
finished season 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're starting your own family now.
See, but this for me, it's completely different. Like I remember we went on this road trip, kind of going around. We did 11 states in 30 days, and we went to my hometown, and we went to church at my hometown, to a church I've been to many times, and we got recognized there, and they're like, "What are you doing here?"
They're like, "What are you doing?"
It's a city, 20,000 population in Kansas,
Yeah.
middle of nowhere. I'm like, I grew up here. Like, this is where I grew up, and it's just like it's surreal seeing the difference of like I'm still the same person, but now I'm on a TV screen, and so people like recognize me and just the difference. And so, I just really. I call my sisters all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to be on Matt and Abby or whatever, and like my sister's like, no way, and just like that sort of stuff. I'm like, you said that too casually. Like I'll be on the phone and I'll say like, yeah, we're just going to Arizona. I'm going to be on a podcast. And it's like, what podcast? And it's just like,
just going to
see
Atlanta
that creates so much disconnect in me. I'm like, that's so crazy that they even know who are. But
I know,
but like that's where I'm at. I'm just like, I don't know how, because when I really got to know them, I'm like, they're pretty normal people. Like, and I think the more people we've gotten to meet, even people
abnormally normal.
Sure.
Really normal.
Is it
Yeah,
just
how
like
do you describe it? You said earlier, you said out there.
Yeah,
out there? Yeah.
That's awesome. So are you guys going to have 9 kids as well? Is that the plan once it happens?
Goodness. Not the plan.
I think the number we agreed on is 3 to 5.
Yeah,
So
3 to 5.
That was the number I said, 3 to 5.
let's go.
See, that's a good number. And it also gives you a little bit of, gives you a range there.
Yes.
Just trying to feel it out. Just
Yeah.
see how it goes.
But also, like, Zach has to be a girl dad, like, at one point or another.
Aw.
So if the first 3 are boys, we're just gonna have to keep trying until we have some girls.
Random change of subject, but I did want to get back to something you said.
Oh, yes.
It's kind of been poking. You talked about like just dealing with the public eye and that sort of stuff, and even both of you kind of going into therapy and that sort of stuff.
It's great, yeah.
And having to really know yourself in like what you're saying. How do you know when to kind of adhere to your audience and like what they're saying of what they want versus staying true to the content that you want?
Whoa, that's so good. That's a really good question. What would you say to that one?
I mean, I think that's something we've messed up and corrected and messed up and corrected and like learned through and fallen into such, because also it's like us as a couple, right? Like it's like that is different than like us as individuals. But I kind of like created like a mission statement so we're about to start another big project.
Okay.
And I was like, man, this is something that I've learned, is that this is a hard thing to navigate. That thing is like one of those things you don't anticipate necessarily. So I think it's so incredibly, like, it speaks to you guys as people, like the fact that you're even asking this question,
Right.
like that you have such good intentions. Creating a mission statement, it sounds so cheesy. It sounds like something corporate, like someone's gonna have to like, we have to post this so we could check off a to-do list, like how to start this business. But creating that like mission statement helps create a standard that it's like, if there is ever a question where it's like, oh, it's this, we're kind of, it feels iffy here, go back to that. Does it fit that? And I think that you could create a mission statement for your marriage, for your family, for your social media,
Right.
for any business, any project you start. And that just helps create so much clarity where you're like you're facing so many decisions that you're going to have to make. And it's
Right.
like, okay, well, we can't have this many conversations. We can't always weigh it back and forth. But when it comes to like an area where it's like, okay, I can't really step forward, just bring back to the mission statement.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That adds so much clarity.
That's cool.
And that's such
I like
a cheesy answer, but it's very helpful. But also even just creating that does so much for you.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, what is integral? What is like the most important thing? What is my goal in doing this? Like, what's the point?
Abby is she's always been so authentic online. She just gives no F's, which I think is like really, really cool.
I never described myself as that.
I do give more F's than Abby.
You have a couple F's to give.
I do have a couple F's to give. And so I think that's like, that's definitely made me, bring things up in therapy to work through, because I'm like, man, I need to figure out like how my brain works and why.
I think the truth of it all too is like you show up as you are.
Yeah.
And if I'm not showing up as the best version of myself, then that's what's portrayed.
Yeah.
And I think that also just is a heavy responsibility and a high responsibility when you have a lot of people looking at you. It's like, well, they're going to see who you are. And obviously there's a ton of misunderstandings, misinterpretations, straight up lies and rumors.
Yeah.
But ultimately,
that has to be hard to have lies and rumors about, like, because for us, like, it's just about our relationship. But then now with your family, you have like everything.
Well, I was going to ask how you guys handle that, because like, there's some rumors, some lies out there that's just like whatever, but then there's others that are just like, why would people do that? It's like so not true, so out there,
it's
like
so hurtful.
I've seen some where it's like posted that my grandpa died, or that my dad has cancer, or that like all these things. Like, why would you do that just for likes and clicks? Or
it's
ones
the big
that were
thing
pregnant. It's like, why are you what if I'm struggling with infertility and I see this, that you're posting a pregnant picture of me? Like, how hard would that be? So like, how do
It's
you
the big
handle
stuff with AI
that?
though. Like these are all AI
AI.
stuff.
It's all
So,
AI.
like,
I fall for that sometimes. Articles and stuff. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, that's not real. I have to correct my mom and grandma a lot too. I'm like, this isn't real.
Just like wondering if you guys have come across that, or if that's just reality TV world. And if so, like, does it ever come big enough for you guys to address it, or are you just like, no, just live your life, keep
think
focused
that's
on what
where
you're doing, and just let that fall aside, because I've gotten so many messages of people are like, you had a baby in July, why don't you put it on, like, why are you hiding your baby
And here's
from
the
us?
thing, there's no
And
end
it's
to
just
that.
like-
There's no end to that stuff. And I think that's something that I've just had to completely like lay
Yeah.
aside. At this point,
That's where I'm
it's
getting to.
your life, and you can continue to use this as it aids you in your marriage, your future
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
And if it's no longer serving you, then it's like, okay, well, we were doing this for ourselves anyway. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and we were showing up as we are, and all these other things just feel so outside.
Yeah.
And so I think that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's so many different ways to approach it, but for me, I'm like, I just had to tune everything else out.
Yeah.
And like, it's been so freeing too, because then
Yeah.
I feel like I can also just show up as authentically as possible, like for our audience. And then I also can just sleep well at night, like knowing like, I don't have to cater to all of these other things, because I only have to cater to my own family, who's in under my roof. And that's just,
Yeah.
that creates so much peace in life. And ultimately I feel like that's what we're all searching for. It's just a
Absolutely.
little bit more
For
peace.
sure.
And so,
Yeah, I think that's where I've come to, because there was a period of time where I was just like so frustrated, like people are spreading these rumors,
Right.
And it's like, just clarify, we didn't have a baby in July. That'd be
Yeah.
impossible. So yeah, I've had to come to a place where it's just like, you know what, that doesn't matter. And it's been like a good month now that I haven't like looked into anything, seeing what people are
Yeah.
saying. Or
So
all
that
things.
He's
baby you
doing
guys
that.
brought with you, was it yours?
No, I think that would be my best advice.
That's good.
From what I've learned.
good.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you know longer. You've been in the public eye longer, but I think that it's just like, as long as there's peace with under my own roof, then
Yeah.
that's my world.
I
That's as
just,
big
like,
as my
I
world
just-
is.
I
It is
just-
funny though, like sorry to interrupt, but like mega celebrities like legitimately do stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
Kylie Jenner hiding her pregnancy for I
Yeah.
think she hid it for like 6 months, and then
Yeah.
she's like, boom, I have a baby. But like to think about people like us that I guess happen to have people that know who we are in the world, but it's like that's a completely different thing.
Yeah,
than-
they don't have like bodyguards like
No.
covering us.
Yeah.
So
No.
you'd be able to tell.
So
Like-
yeah, so someone's like, "Oh, it was a shotgun wedding. They did it because they had a baby and they hid it from the public eye. Look,
Yeah.
I know it's true. Insert AI picture."
Yeah.
Actually, no, those are the posts. It's like, it was a shotgun wedding. But yeah, I think, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, they're like, I totally have had moments where I'm just like, I need to meet the person who's creating this,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
speak to them, because it's like, if they could just meet me face to face and have a one-on-one conversation with me and see that I'm just a human being like you, and just
Yeah.
living my life and just trying to figure out this marriage and just working and just
Girl,
doing all those things.
I
Girl,
think
but
they
if they're,
would-
but if they're
your efforts are
monetized,
so-
Effort.
Listen,
I
your
know,
efforts are
so-
so much more rewarded
Right.
through doing something that's going to build you up.
yeah.
So
And, like-
yeah, I've definitely had my moments like that, but I've
Oh,
moved
it's so
past
hard.
that and
It's
just
so
like,
hard. I'm acting
okay,
like it's easy,
just back
but-
to living my life.
Yeah, as much as you can tune all the outside stuff up and like guide your energy and your focus and your just attention towards what's going to make you the best version of yourself,
Yeah.
then like I can definitely work on that as well. I'm speaking to myself as well. But I think that's my best advice. And I think that you guys are stewarding it so well. And I just know that I was like just listening to your conversations, like it impacted me so much. I'm like, oh, I just want to go home and kiss Matt. I like miss this like newlywed, like lovey-dovey stage and mushy gushy.
Should we kiss right now?
No.
Let's all do it.
Dang it!
Anyway,
He has that.
Okay, sure. And with that, this was great. Everyone, go
Yes.
kiss your husband.
Yes, go kiss your spouse. Lydia, Zach, thank you for coming on the show. This
You
has
guys are
been
Thanks for
just
having
so
so much fun.